Welcome to Stop Dieting and Start Living podcast. I am your coach, Natalia Rodriguez, and I will be guiding you to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life by combining my coaching experience with the psychology behind the human eating behaviors and some simple brain science. Get ready to be coached by me. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for coming to a new episode. This week's topic is about the possible problems you may be facing when trying to eat like a natural slim person. Those challenges you may face to feel if you are truly hungry. And how to stop eating when you are moderate full. In my first episode, I talked about the hunger scale. Go back and hear it in case you haven't, and check on the episode notes for the link to the hunger scale from my post that I did a few weeks ago on my Instagram with the tips of how to use it. So there you have the scale to measure how much food is enough for your body. Remember that unless you are a high-performance athlete, your body naturally knows how many calories you need to consume and from which macros. You just need to tune in with him, and that is what we are learning here. So you don't need to eat until unbutton your pants or starve yourself to lose weight and get your body back. And at the beginning of the journey, if you're just starting now, remember that it is not about what foods you are eating. It is not about the bread or the sugar. It is about why you are eating in the first place. Are you truly hungry? Are you full until comfortable satisfaction? And most probably, during the quarantine and work from home times, you found yourself more times in the pantry that you wished for. And with some undesirable weight gain possibly. Which is okay, because here you're trying to fix that problem, and please feel proud of you already. There are some useful techniques that I learned from a coach named Cookie Rosenblum. And that helped me to pass these problems myself, and that I also found useful for some of my clients. When we start practicing to eat when hungry and stop when moderate full and use the hunger scale, that sounds so simple. But there are two major challenges that most people face. The first one is confusing physical hunger with other signals. And there is a big difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Physical hunger starts in your body. Your stomach sends signals to your brain telling him that it's starting to get empty. And you need to start thinking about your next meal. So it starts in your body and it stops in your brain. And if you're busy doing something, you may be able to delay the urge of eating for a couple of minutes and even for hours. You can even forget you were hungry at some point. But emotional eating does the opposite. It is not like hunger, but it feels like hunger in your body, but with a big urge to eat that you feel you can't avoid, that you need to act right now. It feels so real, and this starts in your brain, influenced by another senses. Like if you smell or saw something appealing, and that creates a thought, and that thought creates a feeling, and your body gives you the message that it feels like you should eat, and that thought creates a feeling, and your body gives you the message that it feels like you should eat. So you need to distinguish between physical hunger and emotional hunger. When we feel something in our body, is known as a sensation. And a sensation is like a vibration that you feel in your body. And it starts in your body like when you're cold or have hunger or you feel tired. Those are sensations. And a feeling is the same as an emotion. And a feeling or an emotion starts in your brain. And then send the signals to your body. So if you feel lonely, happy, angry, fearful, all those are emotions that give us a vibration in our body. And it could be a little bit confusing. So I want you to practice to observe yourself and check out when you want to eat where the signal is coming from. Is it coming from your body? Do you actually need food? Now, another challenge that comes up when you're trying not to eat until we have this physical hunger is that we tend to act on cues that are around us. Like I was saying before, it can come from our senses. Like if you see at your watch and it's 12 o'clock and you used to think that was lunchtime, or maybe you see other people eating, or on our way to work, we see this ad about a restaurant, or if we are walking down the street and you sense the smell of the warm, fresh, and delicious bread from the bakery. All those external cues give you the idea that maybe it is time to eat, but they are not coming from your body. They are coming from your brain. And all those external cues are planting a seed in your head that maybe you're hungry and there is time to eat and you're truly not yet hungry. Or when you are in a hotel buffet, for example, and there is so much variety of food that you have no intention to eat, but just seeing it there gives you the suggestion in your brain. My biggest trigger is still sometimes when I am with other people and they are eating and I am not. And suddenly the food will give me the idea that maybe it is time to eat. And I have to truly talk to myself and really check out what's going on in my body. So one of the first solutions here is always before you eat to check in and ask yourself whether you're hungry and put a number on it. Use the hunger scale. I want you to say, I am in a number 4, beginning to start genuinely feeling hungry. Or I haven't eaten in 6 hours. My body's at a number 2 and I'm getting pretty hungry. So don't just decide to eat. Check in and put a number. That's gonna help you to make sure you have physical hunger. So it is gradual and then anything will satisfy you, like either chicken, broccoli, or an apple. If you have options, you will be happy to have them. But if you're hungry and you want a chocolate cake, that's more a craving. If you need a specific food to satisfy you, it is not physical hunger, it is emotional hunger. Also, if the feeling comes very sudden, so always come back to the first question. Am I truly hungry? So if you're not hungry, you have to take that eating decision off the table. And I want you to pay attention to the thoughts that you are having at the moment and try to be curious about them. What's making you think about eating as a solution of whatever you're thinking? And in order to do this, we need to take a break and get away from the scene of the crime. Walk away from the meal or from the snack. Walk away from the table. Walk away from the kitchen. Just check in with yourself. You are not punishing yourself. You are not trying to avoid anything. You just want to make sure and have a moment with yourself to think. And at that moment, it's helpful if you do a fist and hold it in front of where your stomach is, approximately under your rib cage. And as you are there, remember how much food fit in your stomach. Remember, your stomach is the size of your fist. So if you're having physical hunger need, and if there's no space, there is no need to eat. You can also do this when you are halfway your meal and you want to check in. Pause, make a fist, and hold it right at your stomach. Now, if you are in a restaurant or at someone's home, take a break, go to the toilet if you need to. Just take a little short time out and look yourself at the mirror. And I want you to look into your eyes and tell to yourself, this is not about being tough with myself. You're not saying you cannot have that. You're just trying to figure it out. What do you need and how much? And this is a good example of how loving self-discipline, and that is saying no to yourself because you care about yourself and you care about what you truly, really want. And you can do this by challenging before starting to eat, and your body is ready, and stopping when your body is ready to stop, but your mind wants more. So for stopping, you want to remember that you want to eat from a number 2 to a number 6 on your hunger scale. Because what happens is that many people, when they start eating, they disconnect. They think, well, I made already some good choices and I am physical hungry. Now I'm going to eat. And they try turn down the volume and stop listening to their bodies. And then is when we overeat and they stop paying attention and they ended up the meal way too full, like in a number 7, 8, or 9. So the idea is not to check out and eat whatever you choose to eat until it's finished. The goal is to keep in touch with yourself while you're eating. And this sounds like a lot of work, I know, but it will come very automatic. Check in before you start eating. You will stay connected while you are eating, and then you will check in half through whatever else you are eating and make sure you are still physically hungry. And then you will check in at the end, and it's gonna become easier and easier. Do it without giving it too much thought. It is just you're learning and relearning a new skill, so you need practice. So please be patient with yourself. Sometimes it's hard to stop eating because either we are members of the Clean the Plate Club or because we are telling ourselves how good something it is. And I've mentioned this in another episodes and on many of my posts on Instagram. When we think something, that creates a feeling, and our feelings directly affect what we do. It is not a voodoo thing. It is actually how our brain works, scientifically proven. So we may have been problems stopping, and this has been a big challenge for many of my clients because the thoughts about stopping are scary, like the fear of feeling hunger later, and that is causing us the opposite action, making us to eat even more. So here is how to play it out when you are eating, like play an innocent thought like, oh, this is so good, I will never have this again, I need more, or I will eat this now and I will be good later. So all of these things that you think are leading you to feel entitled to keep going or either hopeless. What's the point of stopping and you just keep on eating? So you don't need to become a robot or monitor all your thoughts as you take each bite, but you just need to be aware of what are you thinking. So a good thought, even if you're thinking this is delicious, is just simply that. This is delicious. Point. Leave it there. So you are leaving all that part of, I will never have this again, or I've got to have more, or I won't be able to stop, and all your thought is about this is really good, you are enjoying it, and the feeling that you are creating is that you are satisfied. And then the action that you are taking is that you're able to stop simply by thinking this is really good versus this is so good, I can't stop. All these little thoughts define what we do and determine our actions. So every meal, consider it as an opportunity to practice. Because every time you eat until past discomfort, it counts, and feelings of guilt will arise because you cannot take that back. So the goal is to become aware before we are doing it and during, not just afterwards. So we practice getting on track so we find out what our body really needs. And what our body needs is very different person to person, and it's not established on what it is on a package or what a serving in a restaurant is, or if we go to someone's house for dinner, what they put on our plate. Those are not the definition of how much food your body needs in that given moment. So I know this was one of my struggles a while ago, and I see it all the time with my clients, where I used to look at the box and I used to feel proud because I ate only what they consider one serving. But it had nothing to do with what my body needed. So you have to figure out your own serving size. Now, if you have thought about being deprived, you will be deprived. Because deprivation only comes from thinking that you can have something. That this is not fair, why everyone else can eat and I can't. I deserve some of that too. And so real deprivation has nothing to do with that. Real deprivation is when someone is preventing you to get what you really need. When there is some reason you can get what you really need, and when you yourself decide to choose to not to have more, is not a deprivation. But how you did create such thoughts? Well, look a bit back, the thoughts you were having when you had fruit in front of you and you were satisfied and you already had enough. Your body's not hungry and you think it is not fair that I need to stop eating, and that creates the feeling of being deprived. And when you feel deprived, you are driving to eat more to get rid of that deprivation feeling. And the result of that is to get extra weight in your body because you're eating without being hungry. So the goal is to get exactly what you need, no matter what anyone else is eating. And that is not deprivation. That is loving self-discipline. Remember, imagine you are taking care of a child and he's asking you for a second portion of dessert. Or he's asking you for something that it won't make him be hungry for dinner. So we say no from a place of love. We are not saying no from a place of punishment. And this is how you need to talk to yourself. If you feel deprived, I want you to look at your thoughts. Ask yourself if you want to keep them. If your thoughts are causing you to feel deprived, why you want to keep those thoughts. They are not serving you. And part of self-care is giving yourself the right amount of food for your body. This is your responsibility as a grown-up. Thank you for being here today, and I have a gift for you. I created a template that you can download so you can journal about your food thoughts and your hunger scale before, during, and after eating. You can place these on your dining table so you remember to fill it out. That was very helpful for me and for many of my clients to start practicing and not forget to check in when eating, especially during and after eating. So I hope it helps you too. I believe in you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That will support my cause, that is to impact as many of you to stop dieting and start living. For more information, go to notfitforlife.com with the number 4. You can find the link in the episode notes. I am also very active on Instagram, where you will find tons of information at notfitforlife with the number 4. Have a great one. Lots of love. Your coach, Nat.